There had been a lot of claims online by certain Mideast groups that they had shot down an F-18 off Harry S. Truman. The Navy is now coming out with what actually happened here. USS Harry Truman was evading Houthi attack when F-18 rolled off its deck. F-18 lost in the latest string of incidents to befall the Truman, including a collision, friendly fire shoot-down, as combat operations grind on. Combat operations. Things happen in combat, and the U.S. Navy's been in almost constant combat for approximately 18 months with the Houthis in Yemen. We've expelled hundreds and hundreds of missiles. Before the president announced the latest strikes in Yemen against Houthi targets, we had expelled over 400 missiles in defense of shipping in the Red Sea. Hey there, little one. And now what we have is the Navy telling us exactly what happened with that F-18. U.S. officials said the initial reports from the scene indicated that Truman had made a hard turn to evade Houthi fire, which contributed to the fighter jet falling overboard. This is the statement from the Navy. USS Harry S. Truman lost an FA-18E Super Hornet assigned to Strike Group Squadron VFA-136 and a tow tractor as the aircraft carrier operated in the Red Sea April 28th. All personnel are accounted for, with one sailor sustaining a minor injury. The FA-18E actively under tow in the hangar bay when the move crew lost control of the aircraft. The aircraft and the tow tractor were lost overboard. Sailors towing the aircraft took immediate action to move clear of the aircraft before it fell overboard. Investigation is underway. The Harry S. Truman Strike Group and embarked air wing remain fully mission capable. The strike group consists of flagship Harry S. Truman, the 9 squadrons of Carrier Air Wing 1, 3 guided missile destroyer squadron 28, and Ticonderoga class USS Gettysburg. It fell off. It fell off. And I'm sure, detractors would say, how is it? It fell off, huh? It just fell off in the ocean. Yeah, I absolutely believe that. The fastest thing on the water is a United States aircraft carrier. They can also turn like nobody's business. And I'm going to give you an example of that right now. In this article, they share this video of a United States aircraft carrier performing high-angle sharp turns. And on one of these views here towards the end, you're going to see the S-turns in the water. This thing can turn really sharp for something that's 1,000 feet long and capable of 35 plus, emphasis on the plus, knots in the water. Emphasize the word plus, because everyone will tell you the fastest thing in the water is a United States Navy aircraft carrier. Look at those S-turns in that wake. Look at those S-turns in that wake. Look how hard over she is. You're telling me something couldn't just fall off that? By the way, what's cool is that it churns up here in the wake, and at night, apparently it glows. There's a lot of stories. Jim Lovell in Apollo 13, it's a famous quote. He says how lucky he got because all the instruments in his aircraft went out when he was searching for an aircraft carrier, his carrier to land on at night. And the phosphorescence of everything the carrier had churned up was like a giant arrow pointing him back to the carrier. So, during combat operations and avoiding Houthi fire, pitching hard over, as you just saw, one of our aircraft and one of the towed vehicles used for that aircraft fell off. I absolutely believe this. I have no reason not to. When you see combat operation maneuvers such as that, avoiding fire, that's a hard pitch over. If you are not completely stowed, you are moving. You are moving. Now, I will say that Harry S. Truman has had a rough deployment. We'll call it a rough deployment. Now, combat operations are rough. This is how it is. And I'm sure the crew and the officers and crew of that vessel fully expect it to be not an easy task. But Harry S. Truman has also had damage due to a collision, which we covered here on this channel extensively, actually. Multiple videos about this damage. She was struck in port in Egypt, I think it was Port Said, by a cargo vessel. And as you can see here, there was damage to what was found out to be an incinerator exhaust and basically just some skinning off of a deck. It was very minor damage. Easily repaired. They put into grease and had that taken care of. Yeah, right here. Truman had only returned to sea February 16th after repairs in Greece following a collision with a commercial ship in the Mediterranean Sea off Egypt's Port Said. I actually remembered that. I'm pretty impressed with that. Not with that, I'm impressed that I remembered. But it's been a bumpy deployment for Harry S. Truman. When she comes home, her crew is going to really deserve. They've earned their R&R. They've earned their R&R. And their combat pay. They've definitely earned that. Now, we have two of them in the area. This is U.S. Navy Fleet Tracker as of April 28th. Carl Vinson is now well within strike range of Yemen to assist Harry S. Truman in what she needs to do. Just looking at the deployment map right now, you have George Washington in Japan, the America Strike Group, that's the Marines in Japan. Nimitz Carrier Battle Group is west of the Philippines. Also west of the Philippines is the Chinese Aircraft Carrier Battle Group, who deployed there in response to the deployment of Marines in the Luzon Strait. Very interesting. So we have here, and this is getting no news. I think this is going to be a future video, guys. USS Nimitz Carrier Strike Group is east of the Philippines at the approximate location of where the Chinese Carrier Strike Group was last reported a few days ago. That's interesting. That's very interesting. Well, let's stick to this story right here. I'm gonna do a little bit more digging into that, but let's stick to this story right here. This is just showing combat operations on USS Harry S. Truman. And this is basically just kind of going into the story here. This is more about this is the Navy statement regarding it. So it fell off. The F-18 just fell off. And when you see the maneuvers that these ships can do, that is in no way far-fetched. No way is that far-fetched. Just the thumbnail of this will show that unless you're stowed down, unless you're tied down and you are aware, shit's going to go flying. If you like it, hit the like button. Subscribe, share with a friend. Let them know that during carrier combat operations, pitching over hard, an F-18 went plunk into the water. But most important thing, the entire crew is okay, and she is fully operational. Thank you.